Hello! It's story time! I am going to read to you today about King Midas and the golden touch. Let's get started. King Midas loved gold. He slept in a golden bed. He kept a bluebird in a golden cage. Every morning the bluebird sang to wake him up. Oh, that would be nice. Every morning the king put on his golden crown. He sat down to breakfast with his daughter, Princess Leela. They drank royal grape juice. They ate royal sausages. They drank from golden cups, and they ate from golden plates. After breakfast, the king went to see his royal goldsmiths. His goldsmiths made him golden clocks and golden tables. They even made him golden fish hooks. Every day the king went for a ride. He went all over his land looking for gold. Then he would take the gold back to his palace. In the palace, his servants took the gold downstairs. The king unlocked a secret door. The servants took the gold into a big dark cave, and the cave was full of gold. Every day, King Midas locked himself in. "Gold," he would say, "I love the way it shines." "Gold," he would say, "I love the way it feels." "Gold, gold, gold, how I love my gold." One day, the king was in his cave. He heard a sound. He looked up, and he saw a strange little man. "How did you get in here?" he asked. "Oh, I can do anything," said the little man. "Why, I can even make a wish come true. What do you wish for most?" "What do I wish for most? Gold, of course," said the king. "I wish that everything I touch would turn to gold." That is a very big wish," said the little man. "It may not make you happy, but if that is what you want, I will make your wish come true. Go upstairs, go to bed. In the morning, everything you touch will turn to gold." There was a flash of light, and the little man was gone. That night, King Midas could not sleep. All night he wondered, will my wish come true? Will I really have the golden touch? At last, the sun came up. The king's bluebird began to sing. King Midas sat up in bed. He reached out to touch his bird. The bluebird turned to gold. "It works!" shouted King Midas. "I have the golden touch!" He put on his royal coat and breeches. His coat and breeches turned to gold. King Midas ran through his palace. He turned a door to gold. He turned a chair to gold. He even turned his umbrella to gold. He ran out into the garden. He turned a frog to gold. He touched the red roses. He turned them to gold. "Look," he called to Princess Leela. "Look what I can do." But Leela did not answer. She just looked at the golden roses. They were cold and hard, and they did not smell. The king and the princess went to eat breakfast. King Midas was very happy. He took a royal sausage. "Ouch!" yelled King Midas. "My sausage is turned to gold. I can't even eat this." He reached for his grape juice. "Oh my!" said King Midas. "Golden grape juice." In a golden cup. "I must have food. I'm hungry," he shouted. He ran into the royal kitchen. He grabbed a fish. It turned to gold. He grabbed apples and donuts. He grabbed more and more sausages. The same thing happened. The same thing happened all day long. The king couldn't write. His ink turned to gold. He couldn't make a fire. The logs turned to gold. All the king's servants ran away. No one could work in a palace like this. That night, the king tried to brush his teeth. He tried to take a bath. He tried to go to bed. But there was absolutely nothing he could do. King Midas sat on his golden bed. He began to cry. Princess Leela heard her father. She came into the room. Poor Daddy, said Leela. Please don't cry. She ran to her father's. She held out her arms. King Midas reached out. He touched his little girl. Leela turned into a statue of gold. Day after day, King Midas sat on his golden throne in his golden palace. He looked and he looked at his cold gold daughter. Then, one day, there was a flash of light. King Midas looked up. The little man was back. King Midas, said the little man, I think I will give you one more wish. If you love something more than gold, wish for it, King Midas. Wish for it with all your heart. There's the little man. King Midas jumped up and he wished with all his heart. He put out his hand. He touched his cold gold daughter. His wish came true. He had turned his daughter back from gold. They ran through the palace. The king touched everything. He turned everything back into what it was before. He touched the roses. He touched the frog. He touched the umbrella. He touched the bluebird. Last of all, he touched the royal sausages and the royal grape juice. Then, King Midas and Princess Leela sat down to breakfast. It was the happiest breakfast they had ever had. So the moral of this story is be careful what you wish for. I would like to share one of my favorite stories for this time of year. 'Twas the night before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, while Papa in his kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was all dressed in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler opening his pack. His eyes how they twinkled, his dimples how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chimney was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. Ho, ho, ho! He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. And laying a finger aside of his nose, and gave a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night."